Check, check, test one, check one, test, test, test. Turn it down, check one, check, check, test one, check.
Game 1 of 2 set to begin here from Blue Jay Field here in Fulton, Missouri. It's Westminster, and it is Stevens College getting you set here for this one. Hello again, everybody. I'm Mickey Doolittle, bringing you the action on some doubleheader softball action today on the Blue Jays Sports Network. Stevens College enters this one having already played 17 games on their year, sitting with a record of 4-13. Meanwhile, Westminster currently sitting with only those 8 games played, and they have not broken through for a win in non-exhibition play so far. They did just come off of a doubleheader sweep against Principia, but those both were exhibition matchups just last week. Warm-ups happening right now. Westminster is going to send out Caroline Bentley to the mound. She currently sits with a 3.09 ERA and 11 1/3 innings pitched. She's struck out 3 and walked 5 to her line so far this year. Weather conditions are absolutely gorgeous right now. 52 degrees in Fulton, sunny. Very little wind to speak of. Should be nearly getting to the 60s by game 2 today. But for now, we are just about set for softball. The huddle breaks at the circle. Bentley looks ready, and she will face Annabelle Throckmorton to lead off this one. Throckmorton has a .364 batting average with 2 home runs, and she's OPS'd above 1,000. First pitch outside and in the dirt. Ball 1, first pitch, 1:58. We're 2 minutes early today. Bentley looks in again. Strides and deals and brushes Throckmorton back, and it's 2-0 quickly. Walks have been a bit of an issue for Westminster this year. They've struggled to find the strike zone at times. There's a ground ball to short. Dundenhofer throws to first, and it's high and skips behind the first baseman. It's a leadoff on base for Throckmorton. We'll wait and see what that's ruled. I believe it'll be a single. It will be a single. And that'll bring up Lindsey Hood, who's the 2-hitter. Elise Kendrick is the 3. Emma Wood is the 4. Avery Throckmorton hitting .324, hits 5th. First pitch on the way. Low and out. Runner goes. Throckmorton dives into second base for a stolen base. Kirby's throw down was not in time. And a stolen base here. So quickly, runner at second with still nobody out here for the Stars. Maria Thibodeau hits 6. Ivy Smart, Jillian Hale, and then rounding out the lineup in just a moment, a bunt attempt goes foul. Count 1-1. And then Mia Adriano rounds out the lineup for Stevens. They'll send out Grace Tath in the circle. Top of the first, nobody out. Pitch is high. Ball 2, it's 2-1. Bentley needs to find the zone. (2-1) on the way. Hood pops it up. Shallow right center field. Ranging out is the second baseman Gannon, and she drops it. It'll fall down, and advancing to third is Throckmorton as Hood reaches first safely, and there's runners at the corner still with nobody out. So Hood reaches on the error. And in the top of the first, Stevens already with runners at the corners. Bentley needs to bear down here. Looks in, gets her sign and delivers a ball. Runner goes down to second and no throw down. Hood grabs the base. So quick hitting action to begin this one. Stevens has been able to get a couple of runners on. Pitch is grounded down the left side and foul. One and one the count now. Ball is tracked down and retrieved. Just about set. Elise Kendrick, last year first team All-AMC honors. And now hitting in the 3-hole this year. Runners at second and third, nobody out. Lines that one down the third base line, and it looks like it hit a coach. Don't want to speculate on who that is, but he's getting checked out. Just a scorcher down that third base line. He's laughing. He looks good to go. Umpires went over to check on him, but he's good to go. And it looks like we'll resume action. Kendrick showing off how hard she can hit a softball. Just a scorcher down that third base line. Got out in front of the 1-1. Here's the pitch. Popped foul down the first base line. It's still 1-2. So Kendrick doing what she does best, hanging in a count. Here's the 1-2 again. High and away. Good waist pitch there from Bentley. Again, strikes have been a little bit of an issue this year for Westminster. Have a good amount of walks as Bentley calls time to tie her shoe. But Stevens, a team that can take advantage. They were picked 7th to finish in the AMC preseason poll. They're out of the NAIA, the American Midwest Conference. 2-2, excuse me, is popped into center field. Ranging in is Weber, and she can't get it. It trickles off her glove. They'll send in Hood around second, and she scores, and it's quickly 2-0 Stevens. Great effort from Weber to try and make a diving catch on an in-between ball in right center field, and couldn't quite come down with it. So it's a 2 RBI single for Elise Kendrick. And quickly, Stevens out to the advantage. Throckmorton also scores on the play. That'll bring up Emma Wood. First pitch to her is a ball. Throw down to second as Kendrick was stealing, and the throw is offline from Kirby. So Stevens really taking advantage of the base paths right now. They've been aggressive and continue to really threaten Westminster in this first inning. They don't want to let it get any more out of hand than it is. Pitch is down. 2-0 the count. Wood hitting .267 on the season. Pitch is a check swing, but a called strike. 2-1. Bentley has that open base at first, but still nobody out. You probably just will take an out wherever you can get it at this point. Pitch is grounded to short. Up with it is Dundehofer. Throw across the infield is in time for out number 1. So first out retired by Bentley is a ground ball to the shortstop. And there's one away for Avery Throckmorton, the center fielder for Stevens. First pitch to her is a bunt shown, but it's tapped foul back to the backstop. Runner at second, 1 out, just underway here from Westminster College. Westminster looking for their first official win of the year. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss, out in front of that one. And it's quickly 0-2 to Avery Throckmorton. Stevens with 2 early runs here in the first inning. A 2 RBI single by Elise Kendrick, who stands at second. That pitch grounded to short. Dundenhofer, another chance at short. She throws across the infield in time for out number 2. So back-to-back 6-3 putouts. And Bentley just 1 out away from getting out of this. And Maria Thibodeau will stand in. First pitch to her is grounded to left side and foul, as a bit of a collision between the third baseman Logan and the runner at third Kendrick, but it was foul nonetheless. Not much that Kendrick, the base runner, could have done right there to get out of the way. 0-1. is grounded to the left side. Logan another opportunity. She throws across the infield in time to retire the side. But 2 quick runs here for Stevens in the first inning has them out to a 2-0 lead. Westminster will grab the bats and look to respond on the other side on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
Museums allow us to celebrate humanity's soaring achievements while also providing lessons on how to avoid the mistakes of our past. They can also amplify the voices of underrepresented groups while bringing economic uplift to communities. We invite you to explore this world while finding a rewarding career by becoming a Museum Studies major at Westminster College.
The way we consume digital media in our world is constantly changing. The way we learn about it needs to change at that same pace. At Westminster College, we're putting you at the forefront of this interdisciplinary research by letting you experience firsthand some of these changes so you'll be better prepared to create it yourself when you leave our campus. In our labs, you'll experience cutting-edge technologies that will prepare you for a career in whichever sector of digital media that you're comfortable. You won't just hear about digital media, you'll experience it yourself.
2-0 Stevens. They get 2 runs on the board in the first inning, and here come the Blue Jays to the plate. And they will try to do it against Grace Tath, who pitches for the Stars. A 1-4 record to her name so far this year. A 6.24 ERA with in 28 1/3 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts and 21 walks. And Emily Esquivel stands in to lead it off for the Blue Jays. Infield in. First pitch is a called strike. Esquivel, 520 OBP on the year with 8 walks. An on-base machine, exactly the kind of hitter that you want in your leadoff spot. Second pitch just catches the outside corner for a called strike 2. He's going to have to battle back here. Kelsey Logan on deck. 0-2 is a defensive swing, rolled foul towards the Stevens dugout. Esquivel only 1 strikeout on the year. And Taft looking to hand her number 2. 0-2 again. Chopped foul at the Stevens dugout again. And another defensive swing by Esquivel, doing a good job of staying alive here. Stevens looking for win number 5 of the year and currently are in good position to do so after their top of the first. Plating 2 runs thanks to an Elise Kendrick 2 RBI single. 0-2 is taken low for a ball. Nope, did not count. So we'll do it all over again. It's still 0-2 to Esquivel. 5th pitch of the at-bat is rolled over to the right side of the infield. Adriano has trouble with it, and Esquivel can beat it out. And we'll see what that one's ruled. It's going to be ruled an E4 on Adriano. And that'll bring up Kelsey Logan in the 2 spot for the Blue Jays. Following her is Ellie Bedsworth, Eva Gannon in the cleanup spot today for the Blue Jays. First pitch is a bunt shown, and it's rolled foul up the third base line. Eva Gannon hitting cleanup. Haley Chandler, who's hitting .406 on the year, hits 5th. Peyton Dundenhofer, 3 of 6 this year from the plate. Follows her. Felicity Kirby, Kendall Weber, and Maddie Marrero round out the lineup for Westminster. Here's Kelsey Logan. Second pitch to her is knuckled up to the left side of the infield. Catch made by the shortstop, Kendrick. She throws across the infield and picks up Esquivel. So a double play turned by Kendrick at short. Nicely done there. And quickly, there's 2 outs in the inning. So 2 outs, and here's Ellie Bedsworth. First pitch is knuckled foul up the first base line. Pinch hit RBI double last time out against Principia in that extra exhibition game last week. Looking to set the table for the rest of the lineup here. 0-1 is taken high for a ball. Tath has only thrown 7 pitches in this inning. Eva Gannon would be next. 1-1 goes to the backstop. So here's Bedsworth with a little bit of count leverage here. Trailing 2-0. Stars have also yet to win a road game on the year. Again, sitting 4-13, 0-4 on the road though. That pitch is taken down and in for ball 3. Blue Jays at-bats have not been half bad here in these first 3 hitters. Now Bedsworth can sit on something to drive as she fouls it back to the screen. Ball is retrieved and thrown back out to Tath. Once again, a perfect day here at Westminster. 52 degrees, sunny. Pitch on the way, a little looper into right field, ranging in and to her left is Hale. She reaches up with one hand and puts it away for out number 3. Westminster gets their leadoff hitter on, but a double play stalls out the momentum of the inning. We head to the second. It's 2-0 Stevens.
Museum Studies at Westminster is a program where students create and curate exhibitions, design programs, ask challenging questions, and above all, blend history, heritage, and culture in a way that informs and inspires. We invite you to join us at Westminster and be a part of history in a way that not only preserves the past, but through the power of museums, helps to build a better future.
Museums allow us to celebrate humanity's soaring achievements while also providing lessons on how to avoid the mistakes of our past. They can also amplify the voices of underrepresented groups while bringing economic uplift to communities. We invite you to explore this world while finding a rewarding career by becoming a Museum Studies major at Westminster College.
We're through 1 here from Blue Jay Field in Fulton, and Westminster behind 2-0 as they go 1-2-3 in a non-traditional way in the bottom of the first with a double play line out. Kelsey Logan lined out to Kendrick at short, and she threw across the infield to pick up Esquivel at first. So bottom of the order due up here for Stevens. It'll be Ivy Smart, a two-way player to lead it off. She also pitches. Here's we have a conversation between the first base coach and the first base umpire, but now we're ready to go. First pitch to her is down and in for a ball. Ivy Smith enters today hitting 130 on the season in 17 games played. Pitch is popped up, mile high to center. We'll see if Weber can track it. She does and reaches up to put it away. That sun is no joke right now as a fly out to center ends Smart's first plate opportunity. And with one away, here's Jillian Hale. 2 straight two-way players here in the lineup for Stevens. Does it look like Gannon over at second base had to tie her shoe? Now we're ready to go. First pitch. Taken for a strike. Outer third. Nice location there. As Bentley just let that one come back into the plate. Caught the corner. Rolled over to third on the 0-1 pitch. Logan up with it. Throws to first in time. That left side of the infield has done a good job today so far, and there's 2 down. When you have a pitcher like Bentley that's not going to strike out a ton of hitters, but induce some soft contact. You rely so much on those premier positions defensively. And right now, Dundenhofer and Logan have done a great job on the left side of the infield. First pitch to Adriano is taken for a ball outside. Stevens with a 2-0 lead. Adriano fouls that one down the left side towards the Stevens dugout. Count even at 1-1. 2 putouts for Dundenhofer, the shortstop, and 2 putouts for Logan so far today, as that's rolled over to the left side and foul again. Top of the second, Caroline Bentley looking for a 1-2-3 inning. The middle of the infield is pretty wide open, though. Middle infield playing towards the baselines as she flares that one down the left side or down the right side, excuse me, and foul. Marrero gave chase but couldn't get over there in time. It's 1-2 now. Those 2 runs in the first inning came on 2 hits. Only one of them was earned. Only one of those runs was earned and 1 error. Line drive up the middle and a base hit. It falls in front of Weber. And Adriano aboard to try and set the table for the top of the lineup. Flips over to the leadoff hitter, Annabelle Throckmorton, who singled back in the first. So 2-out single. Throckmorton and then Hood comes out on deck. Here, a conversation between Kirby and Bentley, the battery mates today. Got to be aware of Throckmorton and her speed. She stole the base back in the first. First pitch to, Throckmorton is back up, but time is called. Not sure what happened there. So the ball wasn't in play yet. Nobody was set. And Bentley threw the pitch a little bit too fast. So a ball is awarded. And Throckmorton takes ball 2 low. Adriano at first. That's taken low. Trying to figure out the count up here. It's either 2-0 or 3-0. That's taken for a strike. Bentley gets one over. And it is 2-1. So just no pitch on that first pitch of the at-bat. Here's the pitch to Throckmorton. Grounded right back to Bentley, who gloves it, knocks it down. Throw to first is not in time. She got her glove on it but couldn't squeeze it. Picked it up in front of her, quickly threw it to first, but Throckmorton's speed too much. And that's a single for Throckmorton, who picks up her second hit of the game. And now with 2 outs, Lindsey Hood stands in with runners at first and second. Hood reached on an error back in the first. First pitch to her is taken in the dirt. Kirby picked it as it skipped in. Stevens looking to add on to this 2-0 early lead. Throckmorton at first. Adriano at second. Ground ball to the right side. Gannon up with it. Throw to first in time, and the 2-out rally is stymied by Caroline Bentley, who escapes a first and second with 2 outs situation and preserves the 2-0 deficit for the Blue Jays, who will look to cut into it on the other side on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
The way we consume digital media in our world is constantly changing. The way we learn about it needs to change at that same pace. At Westminster College, we're putting you at the forefront of this interdisciplinary research by letting you experience firsthand some of these changes so you'll be better prepared to create it yourself when you leave our campus. In our labs, you'll experience cutting-edge technologies that will prepare you for a career in whichever sector of digital media that you're comfortable. You won't just hear about digital media, you'll experience it yourself.
Museums allow us to celebrate humanity's soaring achievements while also providing lessons on how to avoid the mistakes of our past. They can also amplify the voices of underrepresented groups while bringing economic uplift to communities. We invite you to explore this world while finding a rewarding career by becoming a Museum Studies major at Westminster College.
Gannon, Chandler, and Dundenhaffer due up for the Blue Jays here in the bottom half of the second. They fended off a two-out rally from Stevens in the top half. A pair of two-out hits from Adriano and Throckmorton were eventually stranded on base. And here's Gannon. First pitch to her, taken for a strike. Upstairs, a little upper half of the plate. Grace Tath only faced those three hitters in the first inning. Got the double play. Ground ball left side. Gloved by Smith at third. Nice play. Throw across the infield is in time. Excuse me, Ivy Smart with a nice defensive play over at third. And that brings up Haley Chandler. Chandler, the designated player today. First pitch to her. Taken for a ball. Tath has only allowed one base runner in this game, and it was on an error on the first hitter of the game against Esquivel. But she's behind in the count 2-0 here. She deals a pitch outside. Got to find the zone. Here's the pitch. Chandler takes low, and she's ahead 3-0. Bottom of the second. One out, nobody on for Westminster, who trails 2-0. She shows bunt here, pulls back, and takes a strike. Corner infield did not move, even though Chandler showed bunt. And she'll show bunt again here on 3-1. Pitch is ripped down the third base line, but just foul. Couldn't quite straighten that out as it fell 5 or 6 feet to the left of the left field line. And the count runs full, so 3-0 to 3-2. Good job by Tath to battle back in the count here. Pitch on the way is slapped foul up the right field line. Pitch looked like it was kind of on the black on the outer third of the plate, but a good job fending it off from Chandler. 3-2 again. Chandler showing bunt, pulls back. Pitch is popped foul behind the plate. So 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. 7th, excuse me. Long at-bat nonetheless. Chandler showing bunt again, pulls it back. 3-2, swing and a miss. Elevated that pitch to get Chandler to chase. First strikeout of the game for either team, and there's 2 away for Peyton Dundenhofer. 3 for 6 this year for the Blue Jays shortstop. He's had a good amount of success with the bat in her hands. First pitch taken for a strike, outer third. Again, Tath entered this game with a 6.24 ERA, but has only faced the minimum today. Rolled over to the right side. Another chance for Smart. Throw across the infield in time. Great defensive half inning for the Stars' third baseman. And the Blue Jays are set down in order. We head to the bottom half, we head to the third. Stars have a 2-0 lead on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
The way we consume digital media in our world is constantly changing. The way we learn about it needs to change at that same pace. At Westminster College, we're putting you at the forefront of this interdisciplinary research by letting you experience firsthand some of these changes so you'll be better prepared to create it yourself when you leave our campus. In our labs, you'll experience cutting-edge technologies that will prepare you for a career in whichever sector of digital media that you're comfortable. You won't just hear about digital media, you'll experience it yourself.
Another 0 put up by Grace Tath as she continues to pitch well for Stevens. And now Bentley will try to go out for Westminster to set Stevens down and preserve this 2-0 deficit. First pitch on the way, grounded foul up the left field line by Elise Kendrick, who had that 2 RBI single back in the first to start the scoring. Oh, 1 to Kendrick. Is a line drive up the middle, a base hit that falls down right in front of Weber. She fields it on a hop, gets it back in, and Kendrick is 2 for 2. She's found the center field grass twice in her 2 at-bats now. That single back in the first saw Weber nearly make a diving catch at it. Couldn't quite come down with it. So here's Emma Wood. First pitch, rolls to the backstop. It's a ball, got behind the catcher Kirby, and advancing to second is Kendrick. So runner at second here with no outs. And Bentley hasn't seen an inning where a runner hasn't been in scoring position yet. 1-0 is slapped down the left field line, a base hit, and it goes all the way to the wall. In to score is Kendrick. Into second is Wood. She takes a aggressive turn, but holds up there for an RBI double, and Stevens is ahead 3-0. So Emma Wood comes through with the RBI double, and timeout is called. And it looks like this will be a call to the bullpen. We'll get you the name and the number on the other side. It's 3-0 Stevens on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
Museum Studies at Westminster is a program where students create and curate exhibitions, design programs, ask challenging questions, and above all, blend history, heritage, and culture in a way that informs and inspires. We invite you to join us at Westminster and be a part of history in a way that not only preserves the past, but through the power of museums, helps to build a better future.
Museums allow us to celebrate humanity's soaring achievements while also providing lessons on how to avoid the mistakes of our past. They can also amplify the voices of underrepresented groups while bringing economic uplift to communities. We invite you to explore this world while finding a rewarding career by becoming a Museum Studies major at Westminster College.
The way we consume digital media in our world is constantly changing. The way we learn about it needs to change at that same pace. At Westminster College, we're putting you at the forefront of this interdisciplinary research by letting you experience firsthand some of these changes so you'll be better prepared to create it yourself when you leave our campus. In our labs, you'll experience cutting-edge technologies that will prepare you for a career in whichever sector of digital media that you're comfortable. You won't just hear about digital media, you'll experience it yourself.
We welcome you back. A couple of changes for Westminster that we'll run you through here. First pitch on the way to Throckmorton is fouled away. Into pitch is Dundenhofer. And there's also a new shortstop into the game. Second pitch to Throckmorton is in there for a strike. Madeline Kordick enters the game for the Blue Jays at shortstop. That pitch is flared into center field, but racing in is Weber to make the play for the first out of the inning. So those are the only two changes for the Blue Jays. And that'll bring up Throckmorton. First pitch is low. Thibodeau takes low for a ball. Thibodeau grounded out in that first inning, the designated player for Stevens. One 0 on the way. Bends in for a strike. That's taken inside. Count is 2-1 now. Top of the third, one out, runner at second. Stevens ahead 3-0, looking to add on to it. Thibodeau takes outside for ball 3. Infield normal depth, outfield normal depth as well. Playing straight up. Wood the runner at second, as Thibodeau watches ball 4 and draws the walk. So a fly out and a walk here for Westminster's. Ivy Smart steps in, having flown out back in the second. She led off the second with a fly out. First pitch on the way, catches the outer third of the plate for strike 1. First and second here, one out. Pitch on the way to Smart. Taken in there, strike 2. O2 offering on the way. High fly ball, center field. Weber takes a couple of steps out, takes a couple of steps in, and puts it away for the second out. No tag from Wood at second, and a nicely done there. Weber's seen some action out in center field today. Almost made a diving catch back in the first. Has had a couple of putouts outside of that as well. And Julian Hale steps in, the 8-hole hitter. Looking to put Stevens up and add on to this lead. First pitch is tapped back to the pitcher. Up with it. Underhand throw to first is in time. And Westminster, it could have been a lot worse. They only allow the one run across in the inning. We head to the bottom half of the third. It's 3-0 Stevens on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
Museums allow us to celebrate humanity's soaring achievements while also providing lessons on how to avoid the mistakes of our past. They can also amplify the voices of underrepresented groups while bringing economic uplift to communities. We invite you to explore this world while finding a rewarding career by becoming a Museum Studies major at Westminster College.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Field. Here is Westminster now trailing 3-0, but after that last inning, it could have been a lot worse as Dudenhofer came in and set Stevens down after the run was allowed by Bentley, whose line is now closed. Caroline Bentley for Westminster. We'll get you her numbers in just a second. Felicity Kirby stands in for the Blue Jays. Quickly grounds a ball to Smart at third. Throw across the infield is in time. Not an easy play. Smart continuing to flash the leather at the hot corner. A searing ground ball that she fell to a knee to collect in and then fired a strike across the infield. So there's one away for Kendall Weber. And Westminster still has not been able to break the order. 7 hitters to the plate is the minimum right now. Weber, a solid defender out in center field. We've seen her make a couple of plays today. She swings and misses. Count even at 1-1. Final line for Caroline Bentley. She went 2 innings, gave up 6 hits. Ground ball up the middle, gloved by Tath. The pitcher throw to first is in time, 1-3 put out. And there's 2 away. And Maddie Marrero stands in. Bentley gave up 3 runs, but only 2 of them were earned. And she did not walk or strike out any hitters. So she was able to find the zone today. Marrero takes outside, down and away. She's ahead in the count 1-0. Blue Jays have not been able to figure out Grace Tath today. 1-0. Taken for a ball. Marrero, the Blue Jays right fielder, looking to set the top of the lineup up. Pitch is poked at. Little slow roller towards third. Smart comes up with it, but she has no play. A swinging bunt for Maddie Marrero represents the first hit of the game for the Blue Jays. And here's Emily Esquivel, the only other Westminster hitter to reach in this one. It was an error back in the first. So finally, the Blue Jays have a hit against Tath. First pitch to Esquivel, taken inside. Esquivel, known for grinding out at-bats, 520 OBP on the year with 8 walks. Second pitch on the way is low. We saw Stevens back in the second inning put together a little 2-out rally where they started threatening. Didn't become anything, but now the Blue Jays looking to do the same thing. That pitch is taken for a strike, outer third of the plate. Stevens, that second inning where they had that 2-out rally was the only inning where they did not score a run. They got 2 in the first and then 1 in the second. Little flare out to right field. Hood ranging in. She can't come up with it. It was a short hop right in front of her, and everybody moves up a base. So Marrero gets to second, and Esquivel comes through with a single. And after their first 8 hitters had absolutely nothing, 2 little soft hits for Westminster is set up first and second, and 2 outs for Kelsey Logan. She lined out back in the first as a meeting at the mound here with Tath and the entire infield is broken up. Logan lined out in the first to the shortstop that ended up becoming a double play. A little unfortunate for her as she hit that hard. Now with an RBI opportunity. First pitch to her. Taken low. Marrero at second. Esquivel at first. 3-0 Stevens. 1-0 on the way. Foul back to the screen. Count even at 1-1. Stevens trying to bounce back from a sweep against Southwest Baptist University last week. Here traveling just 30 minutes to Fulton. 1-1. High fly ball center field right at Throckmorton as she reaches up and she can't come down with it. 1 run scores. Here comes Esquivel from first and she rounds the bases and gets home. It's a 2-out fly ball. Not sure if it's going to be a 2 RBI, but Logan ends up at second base and the lead is cut to 1. Trouble out in center field from Throckmorton. Because I believe that's going to be an E8. It will be. First pitch on the way is taken low by Ellie Bedsworth. Flew out back in the first inning. Lead just 1 now, tying run at second in Kelsey Logan. Second pitch is a swing and a miss. Elevated that one. Count even at 1-1. Bedsworth. The chance to come through big here for the Blue Jays. Infield straight up corner, slightly in. Pitch on the way, and it's taken for a strike. 3-2 Stevens. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch from Taft, taken outside. Wood tried to frame that back into the plate. Slight move of the wrist towards the home plate frame. Bedsworth fouls off the pitch again, and it's 2-2 still. Good at bat here from Ellie Bedsworth. Taft toes the rubber. Pitch is inside, and it gets to the backstop. It gets past Wood, and Logan moves up to third on a pass ball. Wood looked like she may have been overly eager to frame that pitch back into the zone, but couldn't quite squeeze it. The runner moves up. Bedsworth, 3-2, fouled back. Count remains full. Tying run at third. Bottom of the third inning with 2 outs. Ellie Bedsworth. Again, a big opportunity here. 3-2, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Taken high, ball 4. Good at bat from Bedsworth, who fought off a couple of really tough pitches. And Eva Gannon comes to the plate. She's now 1 of 5 on the year, but hitting cleanup today. Grounded out to lead off the second inning. Now with runners at the corners. Pitch. Grounded back up the middle. Gloved by Taft. Throw to first is in time. And that's how the scoring threat for Westminster comes to an end. But they pick up the 2 runs on the Kelsey Logan fly ball error and cut the lead to 3-2. Stevens still leads, though. We head to the 4th inning on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
Museums allow us to celebrate humanity's soaring achievements while also providing lessons on how to avoid the mistakes of our past. They can also amplify the voices of underrepresented groups while bringing economic uplift to communities. We invite you to explore this world while finding a rewarding career by becoming a Museum Studies major at Westminster College.
The way we consume digital media in our world is constantly changing. The way we learn about it needs to change at that same pace. At Westminster College, we're putting you at the forefront of this interdisciplinary research by letting you experience firsthand some of these changes so you'll be better prepared to create it yourself when you leave our campus. In our labs, you'll experience cutting-edge technologies that will prepare you for a career in whichever sector of digital media that you're comfortable. You won't just hear about digital media, you'll experience it yourself.
Westminster has cut the lead to 3-2. They pick up those 2 runs in the bottom of the third on 2 hits. They left 2 on, and there was 1 error by Stevens. On to the 4th. Here leading it off for Stevens is Adriano against Dudenhofer. First pitch is high. Second one on the way. Slapped foul up the right field line towards the Blue Jays bullpen. Couple of kids chasing after it. Pretty good turnout today. Couple of people sitting in the bed of their trucks out in the right center field, beyond the right center field wall. Pitch is grounded to the left side. Logan waits for it on 2 hops, throws across the infield, is in time, and Adriano set down to lead off the 4th inning. So the lineup flips over for the Stars. And here's Annabelle Throckmorton. 2 for 2 on the day. Pair of singles to her name. She also stole a base back in the first. As the corners come in, perhaps waiting for her to bunt. She takes the slap approach and gets a piece of it, fouls it back to the screen. Dudenhofer came into that 3rd inning and gave up a single, but retired the other 3 hitters she faced as she deals a ball low. Count even at 1-1. She looks in and deals to Throckmorton, who takes upstairs. Three to 2 Stevens. Top of the 4th. First end of a doubleheader today. That's taken for a strike. Count evens at 2-2. Now a little bit of a breeze starts blowing. 2-2 is fouled back right towards us. Still 2-2 as that wind is blowing the flag out above the scoreboard in left field from left field to right field. So blowing in just a little bit. Ground ball to the left side, scooped up by Smart, the 3rd baseman. Throw across the infield is in time for the 2nd out. Pair of putouts here for Logan, the 3rd baseman, and that'll bring up Lindsey Hood. Hood 0 for 2 on the day so far. She reached on an error in the first and grounded out in the second. First pitch to her, taken down and away. Oh, 1 on the way, taken outer third of the plate, but for a called strike. Stevens was picked to finish 7th in the AMC preseason poll out of 10 teams. High fly ball on the 1-1 count out to left field. Esquivel ranges in a couple of steps and reaches up with 2 hands and puts it away for the 3rd out. 1-2-3 goes Stevens for the first time today. Blue Jays will pick up the bats and try to tie the game, the bottom of the 4th on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
Museums allow us to celebrate humanity's soaring achievements while also providing lessons on how to avoid the mistakes of our past. They can also amplify the voices of underrepresented groups while bringing economic uplift to communities. We invite you to explore this world while finding a rewarding career by becoming a Museum Studies major at Westminster College.
Financial planning is one of those careers that rewards you with your own professional accomplishment as well as a deep mental satisfaction from helping your clients directly. For example, as a financial planning professional, you'll help your clients in developing such personal financial plans as estate planning and retirement planning. Our curriculum also allows
Blue Jays trail 3-2 here, but Haley Chandler stands in looking to change that against Grace Tath, who has been phenomenal today for Stevens up until the 3rd inning when she allowed a couple of blue pits, soft contact, but Westminster took advantage and plated 2 in their last time up to the plate. It'll be Chandler. First pitch to her is taken outer third of the plate, but for a called strike. Dudenhofer on deck, I believe, unless the lineup got changed in that switch that they had earlier. Swing and a miss and a riser. above the letters, and it's quickly 0-2. Dudenhofer is on deck. She stands in the on-deck circle right in front of the Blue Jays dugout down the first base line. 0-2 is a high fly ball right center field. Out, now in a couple of steps is Hale. She puts it away, fighting that sun for out number 1. So Westminster retires their first hitter. And here's Peyton Dudenhofer, who's 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded out in the second. First pitch on the way. Taken outside for a ball. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Westminster trails 3-2. Stevens got 2 in the first and 1 in the third. That pitch is a high fly ball to right. Hale has another chance at it. She ranges over to her left, reaches up and makes the play for out number 2. So Hale has 2 putouts in the inning. There's 2 away. So here's Felicity Kirby, the catcher. Try and keep the inning alive. She's the 7-hole hitter today. First pitch by Tath is taken for a strike. If you ignore that 1 inning from Tath with those 2 unearned runs that she gave up, she has been just dominant today. That pitch is swung on and missed. And it's 0-2. She's going right at everybody right now. Oh, 2 on the way. Popped foul. Hits the top of the Blue Jay dugout. Not a cloud in sight today. Not even on the horizon right now. 0-2, fouled straight back. It was 52 at first pitch. Now it's 53 and should be getting closer to the upper 50s by the end of game 2. That one's scheduled to start at 4 o'clock. As Grace Tath comes in and exchanges balls. And it's still 0-2 here. 1 pitch away from a 1-2-3 inning. Pitch to Kirby is poked out to center field, and that's falling for a base hit. Throckmorton couldn't get to it, and Felicity Kirby with a nice piece of hitting on an 0-2 count gets the base hit and extends the inning for Kendall Weber. And that's big because if nothing else, that prolongs, that expedites the time through the bottom of the order for Westminster and allows the top of the order to come up in the next inning. 2 outs. Runner at first. First pitch is taken inside to Weber. Blue Jays center fielder looking to come through right now. That pitch is grounded to the left side. Kendrick, the shortstop, up with it. Throw across the infield is in time, and Westminster is set down in the 4th. We head to the 5th. Stevens leads 3-2 on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
Financial planning is one of those careers that rewards you with your own professional accomplishment as well as a deep mental satisfaction from helping your clients to a click. For example, as a financial planning professional, you'll help your clients in developing such personal financial plans as estate planning and retirement planning. Our curriculum also aligns well with the CFP Board's learning outcomes. Here at Westminster, you can also pursue a dual degree in financial planning and finance to further your career.
Museum Studies at Westminster is a program where students create and curate exhibitions, design programs, ask challenging questions, and above all, blend history, heritage, and culture in a way that informs and inspires. We invite you to join us at Westminster and be a part of history in a way that not only preserves the past, but through the power of museums, helps to build a better future.
Kendrick, Wood, and Throckmorton due up for Stevens here in the 5th inning as Westminster trailing by 1. And Dudenhofer back out for another inning of work. She was stellar in the top half of the 4th, setting Stevens down 1-2-3. She also got all 3 outs in the 3rd inning, despite inheriting a couple of runners. First pitch is ripped down the left field line and just foul for Kendrick. Last year was first team All-AMC. The American Midwest Conference that also features Columbia College, that they just feel like they're good in every single sport. That pitch is taken up and away, but called strike. Columbia College projected to finish 1st in the AMC preseason poll. Stevens projected to finish 7th. 0-2 is a high pop-up right side. First baseman Bedsworth ranges in, reaches up with 2 hands and makes the play for the first out. Foul ball infield flyout for Kendrick. And now Dudenhofer has set down quite a few in order. First pitch to Wood is taken upstairs. She's set down 6 in a row now. Emma Wood looking to change that. She doubled back in the 3rd, an RBI double. She looks at a ball low. It's 2-0. 2-0 on the way. High pop-up, straight back. Kirby, the catcher, mistracked it, lunged out for it and couldn't grab it. So a harmless pop-up, and it's 2-1 now. Kirby missed opportunity to put one away right there. Wood watches a strike catch the inner 3rd of the plate. Nice location there from Dudenhofer. Count even at 2-2. Here's the pitch. Line drive, left center field, and it gets down into the gap. Weber cuts it off before it hits the fence. The relay throw into second is not in time, as Wood slides into second with a double. And with 1 out, Stevens is threatening to add on to their 1-run lead. Emma Wood with a laser double into the left center field gap. Good job by Weber to cut it off the center fielder and have a shot to throw out Wood at second. But here's Avery Throckmorton. First pitch is taken upstairs for a ball. 1-0. Misses high. Trying to come back in. Here's Throckmorton. Ground ball to the left side, and it's picked by Logan at 3rd. She tags the runner out. Throw to 1st to try and double him up. Goes all the way to the screen, and it allows Wood to advance to 2nd. But a heads-up play by Logan to tag out Wood trying to advance to 3rd. Not sure what she was thinking there trying to advance, but Westminster took advantage. But then the throwing error by by Logan allowed her to advance, and here's Thibodeau. Thibodeau takes a ball. So a throwing error, an E5, as the 1-0 was foul tipped to the backstop. Thibodeau had that single back in the 3rd. 1-1 on the way. Thibodeau watches strike 2. Top of the 5th, 2 outs. Runner at second for Stevens. 1-2. Ground ball up the middle, and it gets through. Weber, the center fielder, picks it up, but she throws to second as Throckmorton comes around to score, and Maria Thibodeau extends Stevens' lead to 4-2. Just unfortunate circumstances there. Dudenhofer got the soft contact that she wanted, but it just found a hole up the middle. And here's Ivy Smart. Line drive to the third baseman, Logan, who spears it for the third out of the inning. But Stevens adds on to their lead. They now get a run back. It's 4-2 Stevens. We head to the bottom of the 5th on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
The way we consume digital media in our world is constantly changing. The way we learn about it needs to change at that same pace. At Westminster College, we're putting you at the forefront of this interdisciplinary research by letting you experience firsthand some of these changes so you'll be better prepared to create it yourself when you leave our campus. In our labs, you'll experience cutting-edge technologies that will prepare you for a career in whichever sector of digital media that you're comfortable. You won't just hear about digital media, you'll experience it yourself.
Museums allow us to celebrate humanity's soaring achievements while also providing lessons on how to avoid the mistakes of our past. They can also amplify the voices of underrepresented groups while bringing economic uplift to communities. We invite you to explore this world while finding a rewarding
4-2 Stevens as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Here as Maddie Marrero will lead it off, the 9-hole hitter for Westminster, before the top of the lineup comes up. It's Marrero, Esquivel, and Logan due up. And they've put Marrero at the bottom of the order for a reason. She's a quality hitter. She can set the table. A lot of times you see that. Teams will bury a really good hitter at that 9-hole spot so they can set the table for the top of the lineup. She watches a ball high. Now the 1-0 is taken for a strike, outer third of the plate. 1-1 the count. Taft deals her 61st pitch of the game. It's a slow roller to the right side and a miscommunication on the infield. And it allows Marrero to reach first. Nobody called for it as Adriano and Taft both had shots at it, but both of them got caught in between, and it's an infield single for Marrero. So that'll bring up the top of the lineup for Westminster, and Emily Esquivel standing in. She's 1 for 2, reached on an error, and singled in the third, and later came around to score. She watches strike 1. 0-1 from Taft. Line drive right field, base hit. Hale picks it up and gets it in quickly, not allowing Marrero to advance to second. And Westminster with something cooking here in the 5th. That might have been the hardest hit ball the Blue Jays have had off of Taft all day long. Esquivel just sat on it in her third and ripped it into right field. So now first and second, nobody out. That runner at second representing the tying run. And it's Kelsey Logan, the third baseman. She swings and misses at the first pitch. Good one from Grace Taft. 0-1 to Logan. Fouled straight back. 0-2. She's got to shorten up here. Logan 0 for 2 on the day. Had a line out to short in the first that eventually turned into a double play, although she did hit it hard. 0-2 on the way. Taken outside for a ball. And then she reached on an error in the third. And that was the play that plated 2 runs. The only 2 the Blue Jays have scored today. That pitch is down and in. She tried to check her swing, could not, and it is a strikeout for Taft. So here's Bedsworth Only the second strikeout of the day for Tath, who's been just phenomenal. But working through some traffic here as Bedsworth takes the first pitch for a strike, down and away. Pitch is a bunt. Right back to the pitcher, Tath. She scoops it up, throws to first in time. Both runners move up, and with 2 outs, the tying run now stands at second for Eva Gannon. So Marrero at third, Esquivel at second, and Gannon trying to get them home. First pitch to her is a ground ball to short. Kendrick up with it. Throw to first is in time, and Stevens survives the Blue Jay threat. We head to the 6th. Stevens still leads 4-2 on the Blue Jay Sports Network.
Museum Studies at Westminster is a program where students create and curate exhibitions, design programs, ask challenging questions, and above all, blend history, heritage, and culture in a way that informs and inspires. We invite you to join us at Westminster and be a part of history in a way that not only preserves the past, but through the power of museums, helps to build a better future.
Museums allow us to celebrate humanity's soaring achievements while also providing lessons on how to avoid the mistakes of our past. They can also amplify the voices of underrepresented groups while bringing economic uplift to communities. We invite you to explore this world while finding a rewarding career by becoming a Museum Studies major at Westminster College.
Stevens escapes the jam in the bottom of the 5th. Westminster held scoreless again. And now they need to bear down and try to keep Stevens at 4 runs here as they trail 4-2 into the 6th inning. Jillian Hale stands in and takes a ball, the first pitch of the at-bat from Dudenhofer. Hale is 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts today as she slaps it foul down the right field line. That wind kind of picking up right now a little bit. It has shifted. It's pretty much from foul pole to foul pole from left to right. As that's taken for a strike, it's 1-2 now. Dudenhofer gets her sign and delivers. Low and in for a ball. Count even at 2-2. Again, completely sunny here from Fulton. Stevens coming from just 30 minutes west of here in Columbia. 2-2 on the way. Ground ball to the left side. Kendrick up with it. Throw to first in time. Nicely done by Kendrick. A hot shot right at her. She scooped it up and made a nice play on it for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Mia Adriano. Dudenhofer has been really good today. She's thrown those 33 pitches and has done really well for herself. First pitch is taken up and away. Of course, the run last inning was on an error. 1-0 on the way. Little knuckler to the right side. Dudenhofer can't come up with it. It's picked up by Gannon, the second baseman. She underhand flips it to Bedsworth at first, just in time for the second out of the inning. Nicely done to charge that ball by Gannon, and there are 2 away in the inning. That'll flip the lineup card over for Stevens. Annabelle Throckmorton comes up to the plate again. They finally got her out in the 4th. She was 2 for 2, and now she's 2 for 3. Got her to ground out to third. First pitch to her is taken on the black for a strike. Lower thirds of the plate. Outer thirds, excuse me. 0-1 on the way. Is poked at and looped into left field, and charging in is Esquivel, who reaches up and puts it away for the third out of the inning. 1-2-3 goes Stevens, and the Blue Jays grab the bats into the bottom half of the sixth. They trail 4-2 on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
Financial planning is one of those careers that rewards you with your own professional accomplishment as well as a deep mental satisfaction from helping your clients directly. For example, as a financial planning professional, you'll help your clients in developing such personal financial plans as estate planning and retirement planning. Our curriculum also aligns well with the CFP Board's learning outcomes. Here at Westminster, you can also pursue a dual degree in financial planning and finance to further your career.
Museum Studies at Westminster is a program where students create and curate exhibitions, design programs, ask challenging questions, and above all, blend history, heritage, and culture in a way that informs and inspires. We invite you to join us at Westminster and be a part of history in a way that not only preserves the past, but through the power of museums, helps to build a better future.
Back with you here as Westminster trails 4-2. And they're looking to grab the bats and get back into this one. First pitch to Haley Chandler is taken outside. Grace Tath enters her sixth inning of work. And she has been nothing short of phenomenal here today. Second pitch on the way, rolled over to the right side, but Smart had trouble with it at third. And that allows Chandler to get to first. So the leadoff hitter aboard for the Blue Jays. And I believe that'll be scored an error, as it was right at Smart. And she had a lot of time to get it over, as looks like they're gonna bring in a pinch runner. Checking on the change here as Peyton Dudenhofer stands in, the pitcher. First pitch to her on the way. Taken outer third of the plate, but called a strike. Oh, 0-1 and a timeout called. Looks like the catcher would needing just a second there. Maybe had something in her eye. Haley Chandler sees an 0-1 and fouls it straight back. Just missed that one, just got under it. She timed it up well. Anytime you see a foul ball go straight backwards, normally means the hitter is on it and has it timed up. Now she's behind 0-2, and she watches riser high. It's 1-2. Westminster got a base runner on an error. 1-2, high for a ball. Blue Jays haven't scored since the third inning, where they picked up those 2 runs on an error by the center fielder, Avery Throckmorton. Pitch on the way, taken low, skipped in there. Nice at-bat being put together here by Dudenhofer. The third baseman, Smart, is playing just a step off the line, trying to guard against anything down the line. The 3-2 is taken down and in, and it's a walk to Dudenhofer, and first and second now for the Blue Jays with still nobody out. And here's Felicity Kirby. She singled in her last at-bat in the fourth. Grounded out before then in the third. Grace Tath in another situation here where Blue Jays have some traffic on the base paths. It's a bunt by Kirby down the third baseline, absolutely perfect. And she gets thrown out at first, but the sacrifice is in effect, and both base runners move up.
Now batting for the Blue Jays, number 13.
And Kendall Weber stands in. Runners at second and third, still only one out. Westminster trying to play a little bit of small ball here. First pitch from Taft to Weber, righty on righty. Is a high fly ball, center field, raging in his Throckmorton. She dives and she can't get there. Both runners had to wait to see if it was going to fall, so only one run scores. But nonetheless, Westminster has trimmed this lead down to one. An RBI single for Kendall Weber. And Maddie Marrero will come to the plate with a chance to give the Blue Jays a tie or the lead. As here a meeting in the circle. And we'll see if this is it for Grace Tath, who's been really, really good today. She's just had some luck go against her. But Weber put a good swing on that pitch to loop it out to right center field. A great effort from Avery Throckmorton in center to lay out to try to come down with it, but couldn't quite get there. Blue Jays with only the one hit on the inning. They have scored that one run, and it's still going to be Grace Taft in the circle going forward. No pitching change here. They'll stick with their right-handed hurler. So here's Maddie Marrero, who's 2 for 2 on the day. A single in the third, later came around to score, and a single in the fifth. First pitch is a knuckler down the left side and foul. 4-3 Stevens lead. Westminster with a chance to tie it. Runners at the corners with only one out. They've trailed for the entire game since the top of the first inning. Second pitch to Marrero on the way, taken for a strike, high and away. They try to pick the runner off down the third base line, but it skips down the line. Dundenhofer comes in to score, and the game is tied. The throwing error from Wood allows her to come in. And on the play, Weber moves up to second, and she is the go-ahead run. Pitch was a strike, so it's 0-2. That pitch taken, on the plate, it was called a strike, and now it's 0-2. It was 0-1. That was the first pitch of the at-bat. Marrero with those two singles. Infield comes in. That's taken down and in for a ball. All four infielders are playing inside the baseline, except for the second baseman, Adriano. Tath looks in, checks her wristband, rocks back, and delivers the 1-2. Swing and a miss, she got her. Marrero strikes out swinging for the second out of the inning, but here comes the top of the order.
Now batting for the Blue Jays, number 12, Emily Escobar.
The infield, the left side of the infield is still in here against Emily Esquivel, who stands in, as the first pitch taken down and away for a ball. Kendrick and Smart, the shortstop and third baseman, are in. The second baseman, Adriano, stands at her normal depth. Second pitch on the way is taken for a strike. 1-1 here to Esquivel, who's 2 for 3 on the day, but has reached in all 3 of her at-bats. She reached on an error in the first and was later picked off. That pitch is a high fly ball, right field, and it hooks foul. It's foul by about 5 or 6 feet. Esquivel gave it a ride. It clanged off the chain link fence just to the right of the foul pole, and it's 1-2. Tath delivers. Line drive, left side, but foul over the third base coach's head. Weber, the runner at second, with decent speed. She represents the go-ahead run in a tie game, 4-4. Esquivel watches it down and away. Count evens up at 2-2. Kelsey Logan is on deck. She's 0 for 3 on the day. Righty on lefty. Esquivel in that left-handed batter's box. Here's the pitch. Ground ball sharply to the shortstop Kendrick, who throws it across the infield in time for the third out. But the Blue Jays have tied the game at 4. We head to the 7th on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
The way we consume digital media in our world is constantly changing. The way we learn about it needs to change at that same pace. At Westminster College, we're putting you at the forefront of this interdisciplinary research by letting you experience firsthand some of these changes so you'll be better prepared to create it yourself when you leave our campus. In our labs, you'll experience cutting-edge technologies that will prepare you for a career in whichever sector of digital media that you're comfortable. You won't just hear about digital media, you'll experience it yourself.
The Blue Jays have tied the game at 4, looking to preserve this tie and give themselves a chance to win the game in the bottom of the 7th. Here as it'll be the top of the lineup for Stevens. Hood, Kendrick, and Wood due up against Dudenhofer. First it'll be Hood, who's 0 for 3 on the day, reached on an error in the first, and came around to score. First pitch to her, she shows bunt. Pulls back, though, as she takes it up and in. One 0 on the way. Down and away for a ball. Grace Tath, the Stevens pitcher, pitched so well through 5 innings. There's 2 unearned runs as that ball is fouled straight back. It's 2-1 now. Westminster seemed like they couldn't figure her out. All those runs, even though they did plate those 2 runs, they were all on some soft contact, and then they finally found a way to get 2 more across in the 6th as she shows bunt on 2-1 and bunts it to a foul tip foul. And count is even now. 4-4, top of the 7th. Blue Jays have tied the game in the last half inning. Dudenhofer delivery is popped up right center field. Weber, another chance for her as she makes the play on the run. Moving to her left, and there's 1 out. Nice play by Weber out in center field. She's been really good today. So that'll bring up Elise Kendrick, last year's first team All-AMC selection. First pitch to her is a ground ball to the left side, right at Kendrick. Throw across the infield is in time, and there's 2 away. Six to 3 on the put out, and here's Emma Wood. Wood is 2 for 3 with a pair of doubles to her name so far. First pitch to her is taken for a strike. Wood hitting .267 on the year. Another quality hitter, but Dudendorf doing a good job against the heart of this order. Sharp ground ball to Logan at third. She couldn't get it, and she throws it over everybody's head. She probably should have just held on to the ball, as Wood will advance to second on the throwing error. They'll rule that a hit and an error on Logan, her second of the day. And that'll bring up Avery Throckmorton. First pitch is taken upstairs with the riser. Throckmorton 0 for 3 on the day. She also reached on an error in the fifth. 1-0. Down and in for a ball. Dudenhofer has been really good since coming in, only giving up the 1 run. There's a high fly ball to left. Ranging in is Esquivel. She reaches up and makes the play towards the line to end the inning. So the error does not come out. Back to bite Westminster. We head to the bottom of the 7th. The Blue Jays have a chance to win it in a 4-4 tie on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
The way we consume digital media in our world is constantly changing. The way we learn about it needs to change at that same pace. At Westminster College, we're putting you at the forefront of this interdisciplinary research by letting you experience firsthand some of these changes so you'll be better prepared to create it yourself when you leave our campus. In our labs, you'll experience cutting-edge technologies that will prepare you for a career in whichever sector of digital media that you're comfortable. You won't just hear about digital media, you'll experience it yourself.
Museum Studies at Westminster is a program where students create and curate exhibitions, design programs, ask challenging questions, and above all, blend history.
Dudenhofer puts up the 0 in the top of the 7th against 2-3-4 of Stevens. It's the middle of the order, and now Westminster comes up in the bottom of the 7th with a chance to win it, and they have their middle of the order due up in a 4-4 tie. Westminster can walk it off. They still are looking for their first win of the season, and Kelsey Logan will look to get them one step closer to that. They entered today 0-8. Stevens looking for their first road win of the year. They're 0-4 on the road here in the first half of a doubleheader. It's shaping up to be a good one. Westminster came from behind. They trailed 3-0 entering the bottom of the 3rd before they got 2 runs back. First pitch to Logan is fouled back. And then Stevens answered in the top of the 5th with a run, stretching the lead to 4-2, and then Westminster came back with 2 in the bottom of the 6th to tie the game. Here's the pitch to Logan. Little chopper to the right side. Smart up with it on 2 hops. Throw across the infield in time. And there's 1 away. We've seen the third baseman make some nice plays today on each side, and here's Ellie Bedsworth. Infield at normal depth against her, although the third baseman Smart is playing towards that third base bag, guarding the line. First pitch is in there for a strike. Tath into her 7th inning of work for Stevens. (0-1), fouled back to the backstop. And it's 0-2. Eva Gannon due up next, and then after her it would be Haley Chandler if anyone can get on. Bedsworth watches outside. Bottom of the 7th, 1 out. Blue Jays looking for a chance, looking for a walk-off here. That pitch is taken up and away, and Tath kicks some dirt and a little bit of frustration in the circle. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch to Bedsworth. Little knuckler to the left side of the infield. Smart coming in. She dives, and she makes the play. Wow. The third baseman, Smart, had to come in. It was a sinking fly ball, and she made a dive for it right at the baseline, about 45 feet from home plate, and she put it away for out number 2. So now the last chance in the bottom of the 7th for the Blue Jays is Eva Gannon. Here's the pitch. Taken inside for a ball. Gannon is 0 for 2 on the day with a trio of groundouts. She's hit it hard once or twice, though. Pitch is away for ball 2. She's got count leverage here. Blue Jays had those 2 runs on 1 hit, an error, and 1 left on base in their previous inning as Gannon watches a strike. It's 2-1. Bottom of the 7th, 4-4 tie. Pitch on the way, and it's taken down and in for ball 3. 3-1 count advantage here to Gannon with Haley Chandler on deck. She's 0 for 3, though, as well. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. So Westminster gets the winning run aboard here for Haley Chandler. Eva Gannon with a good at-bat. And we'll see if they want to make a switch here. No, they do not. It'll be Chandler against Tath with Gannon at first. First pitch on the way. Ground to the left side, backhanded at third by Smart. Throw across the infield in time. It was ruled a fair ball. An argument coming in here. And that is the end of the inning. Wow. She looked like she was on the other side of the bag. Not 100% sure from our vantage point. And that ends the inning. So we head to the 8th inning. Extras here from Fulton. It's 4-4, Stevens and Westminster on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
The way we consume digital media in our world is constantly changing. The way we learn about it needs to change at that same pace. At Westminster College, we're putting you at the forefront of this interdisciplinary research by letting you experience firsthand some of these changes so you'll be better prepared to create it yourself when you leave our campus. In our labs, you'll experience cutting-edge technologies that will prepare you for a career in whichever sector of digital media that you're comfortable. You won't just hear about digital media, you'll experience it yourself.
Museums allow us to celebrate humanity's soaring achievements while also providing lessons on how to avoid the mistakes of our past. They can also amplify the voices of underrepresented groups while bringing economic uplift to communities. We invite you to explore this world while finding a rewarding career by becoming a Museum Studies major at Westminster College.
Runner at second, throw down to third on the stealing attempt, and she slides in safely. They nearly got her on the steal as in a 4-4 tie into extras. Stevens gets the steal. Believe that's Avery Throckmorton over at third now. Yes, it is. So Westminster going to have to work their way out of another jam as Dudenhofer in the circle, out for another inning against Thibodeau. Pitch is up and away for a ball. That's taken for a strike. Thibodeau with the go-ahead run at third. Ghost runner starts at second in the extra innings. High fly ball to right. This will surely get him in. Nice play by Marrero out in right field to track it down, but tagging up is Throckmorton from third, and that gives Stevens a 5-4 lead. Good piece of hitting by Thibodeau, who really gave that a ride. Marrero had to race backwards to make the play, and here comes Ivy Smart. First pitch is a swing and a miss to the Stevens third baseman. Came unglued for that one. 0-1. Pitch is outside for a ball. Dudenhofer, of course, not charged an earned run for that ghost runner that starts at second in extras. 1-1. High for a ball. That's Stevens' first run since the top of the fifth. 2-1 is a high pop-up on the infield. Bedsworth, the first baseman, ranges in and makes the play about 40 feet from home plate for the second out of the inning. So here's Jillian Hale, 0 for 3 on the day. 3 groundouts. Dudenhofer rocks back and delivers from the circle. Missed high. It's 1-0. Westminster will have Dudenhofer, Kirby, and Weber due up. So there's a line drive in the left center field gap, and it gets down and it rolls all the way to the wall. Weber picks it up, tracks it down. Hale races into second base with a 2-out double, and Stevens looking to threaten and extend this lead out. Just roped into the left center field gap. And a good piece of hitting has Stevens on the verge of scoring again. So Adriano steps in and taps it foul down the third base line. She's behind 0-1. She's 1 for 3 on the game, 2 groundouts and a single. The single came all the way back in the second inning. Oh, 1 is a pop-up foul over the Blue Jay dugout. Six, 7, and 8 coming up for Westminster in the bottom of the 8th, needing a run. There's a high fly ball down the right field line. Racing in is Marrero, but she couldn't get there as it falls down in play. She had a shot at it, but just didn't hang up long enough for her. Haley Chandler should be the ghost runner for Westminster in the bottom half of this inning. Adriano looking to give Stevens a 2-run lead. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to the left side. It's fielded by Kendrick at short. She throws across the infield in time for the third out. So the 2-out double does not come to pass. Any problems for the Blue Jays? As we head to the bottom of the 8th, they need a run. It's 5-4 Stevens on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
The way we consume digital media in our world is constantly changing. The way we learn about it needs to change at that same pace. At Westminster College, we're putting you at the forefront of this interdisciplinary research by letting you experience firsthand some of these changes so you'll be better prepared to create it yourself when you leave our campus. In our labs, you'll experience cutting-edge technologies that will prepare you for a career in whichever sector of digital media that you're comfortable. You won't just hear about digital media, you'll experience it yourself.
Now batting for the Blue Jays, number 24, Peyton Dudenhofer.
Peyton Dudenhofer will lead it off for Westminster, needing a run here in the bottom of the 8th to extend the game out another inning. They have that ghost runner at second. Representing the tying run. First pitch to Dudenhofer. She shows bunt, gets a good one up the first base line. It's scooped up in play. Throw to first is in time. Tath came out of the circle to make it and lobbed it over Dudenhofer, racing down that first base line. Retires her, but the sacrifice is perfect. Runner moves to third. So Felicity Kirby stands in now, meeting in the circle for Stevens. With that runner at third. Much more of a strikeout situation here for Grace Tath, who has thrown 7 1/3 really good innings here for the Stars. So Kirby gets done with a meeting down the third base line with her coach, getting some last-minute advice. 1 out, 1 on at third. That's the tying run. Infield in here for Stevens. First pitch to Kirby is fouled straight back. She was on it. Five to 4 Stevens, bottom of the 8th inning. They went ahead thanks to that ghost runner in the top half of this inning as Tath deals a pitch outside, 1-1. Westminster trailed for the entire game until the bottom of the 6th when they picked up 2 runs to tie it. 1-1 misses low for ball 2. That open base at first wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to walk Kirby, but then you put the winning run on. Pitch. It's a high pop-up on the infield. Ranging in is Kendrick, and she reaches up to make the play for the second out. And now Westminster down to their final out of the game. That's something that you can't have if you're Kirby. So here's Kendall Weber, the center fielder, who's made a couple of really nice plays defensively today. She also had that RBI single back in the 6th. First pitch on the way. Last chance for the Blue Jays. A high pop-up that's fading foul back into the seats. Tying run just one bag away. Weber behind the count, 0-1. 5 to 4 the score. Stevens leads. Westminster's not led in this game at all as the pitch is taken inside, nearly hit Weber. And Tath even in the count, 1-1. Pitch on the way. Weber lines it to center field. Ranging in is Throckmorton, and she slides to make the play to end the game. Avery Throckmorton with a sliding catch that puts the Blue Jays away, and Stevens wins the game 5 to 4 in extras. Kendall Weber gave it a hard hit line drive that was sinking, and Throckmorton dropped to a knee to make the play, and just like that, 8 innings have come and gone, and Stevens wins the game 5 to 4. Back to wrap it up after this on the Blue Jays Sports Network.
Museums allow us to celebrate humanity's soaring achievements while also providing lessons on how to avoid the mistakes of our past. They can also amplify the voices of underrepresented groups while bringing economic uplift to communities. We invite you to explore this world while finding a rewarding career by becoming a Museum Studies major at Westminster College.
way we consume digital media in our world is constantly changing. The way we learn about it needs to change at that same pace. At Westminster College, we're putting you at the forefront of this interdisciplinary research by letting you experience firsthand some of these changes so you'll be better prepared to create it yourself when you leave our campus. In our labs, you'll experience cutting-edge technologies that will prepare you for a career in whichever sector of digital media that you're comfortable. You won't just hear about digital media, you'll experience it yourself.
Game one of this Sunday doubleheader goes to Stevens as Westminster falls 5-4 in a highly entertaining 8-inning game. Stevens picked up 2 runs in that first inning. They added on to that lead, going ahead 3-0 in the third, but Westminster answered back with a pair of runs in the bottom half of that inning before Stevens went up 4-2 in the fifth, and then Westminster in the bottom half of the sixth inning tied the game on a base hit, RBI single by Kendall Weber, and an error defensively by Stevens. So they pick up the win. They improve to 5-13. Westminster falls to 0-9, but a chance to pick up their first win of the season in just about a half an hour. We'll see you in that one. Once again, final score, Stevens wins 5-4. We'll be back with game 2 coming up here